Hello and welcome back. In this video we're going to take a look at how to use Google Keep with Google Calendar. Now there was a time that these two products did not integrate, where you could use Google Keep and you could use Google Calendar, but you simply had to go into Google Keep and then copy something if you wanted to bring it into Calendar. But Google has since given you this shortcut right here so you can work with them a little more conveniently. Now, let me give you a quick introduction to Google Keep for those who might not be familiar with it. Once you establish any type of Google account, you get Calendar and Docs and various things, but one of the products you get that you may not be aware of is Google Keep. Google Keep is just a simple organizational system, and I've opened up a window here to show it. And it's basically a place where you can store digital resources that you find. So things that you can do, like if I'm on my phone and I'm looking through, I have a news aggregator that kind of sends me articles of things I might be interested in. And if I am interested in one that say has to do with education or something, I can just click share. It becomes an option. And so here's a couple of websites that I came across, and I could just share them directly back to Keep so that I can look at them at a later time. Other things, you could add any sort of note in here. This is a link up here to a Google Doc I created just as an example. Or you can create lists. And so one thing that my family uses Google Keep for is we simply have a shared list between my wife and myself about what we need from the grocery store. So either one of us can add to it, and then the first one to the store will have a complete list that they can pick up. You can also create lists in the form of a checkbox list. So I have a couple of examples of that here. And if I was working directly in Keep, I could simply click on one of these lists, add additional items, and when I click off the list, it's just there. But if I'm done with something, if this is something that's part of a process that I have to go through, I can simply click the box. It will get a line through it to show that it's done. Great application, especially for work on your mobile device, so that if this list is going to be available to you on your phone also if you need it. And I'm not going to go into a full tutorial on Keep right now. That's not the point here, but you get the idea of the types of things that you can store in Google Keep. Okay, now when I come back to Calendar, you'll notice this Google Keep icon in the upper right-hand corner. Clicking that will simply tie me into the contents that are in my Google Keep that are associated with this particular Google account. And you can see there it is. I have one completed item down here. That's the one I crossed off. But there are my two checklists. Here are my other resources. Now, if I want to use some of this content in a calendar entry, let's say that I go to make an entry here, and I say, I'm going to leave this as an event. I can go to more options, and perhaps I wanted in this description section or in this section with notes, I wanted to add more information that I'd already entered and organized in Google Keep. Now what would be absolutely perfect is if I could click this little box and it would jump in here. That's not how it works. I have to click over. I can select the content. I'm going to right click and copy it here and come back and right click and paste. So as a suggestion to Google, if there was some way that Keep would work a little differently when we were working in this calendar environment, that would be great, but it is still pretty useful and an advancement from what I've had previously. Basically saves me the time of opening up a separate window with Keep and then flipping back and forth between the tabs. Now, just a little tip for you. There are faster ways to copy and paste content. So if I were to click here on this second checkbox item and hold down the Control key and hit A, it's going to select everything from that particular checkbox or that particular bullet. So it'll do this for you by paragraph. I can then hold down the Control key and hit C, which would be copy. So Control A, Control C. Come back over to my other window, click with the mouse, Control V will paste it. So just knowing a couple of keyboard shortcuts and how they work can really save you quite a bit of time when you're working in this environment. A little bit of a tangent here. Google Keep has also been integrated with Google Docs. So if you are working with grading student assignments and you have a standard kind of comment, or you have a rubric that you like to pull information from, putting that information in Keep can speed that process tremendously. So it'll all be here for you, and you can simply, select it, copy it, click where you want it over on this side, and then paste it with your keyboard shortcuts. Okay, that's how it works. You may find it useful. It may be something that you don't use very often or doesn't go into your workflow, but it's nice to know that it's available and how to use it.